the night the wall fell. November 9th, 1989, what a night to remember. It was a date that would forever change the course of history. For almost 30 years, the Berlin Wall had stood like a looming shadow over Germany, dividing families, crushing dreams, and symbolizing the harsh realities of the Cold War. But that evening, something incredible was about to happen. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to wake up one day and find the walls that divided your life suddenly crumbling? Well, let's dive into that unforgettable moment. To truly grasp the significance of that night, we should rewind a bit. The Berlin Wall was constructed in 1961. Imagine waking up and seeing barbed wire and concrete walls being erected overnight, cutting your city and often your life in half. For East and West Berliners alike, the wall was more than just a structure. It was a painful reminder of the divisions of the Cold War, where families were torn apart and lives irrevocably changed. It created two worlds, one of strict communist control in the East and one of relative freedom in the West. The tension was palpable, and the impact of the wall seeped into every corner of culture and society. Fast forward to November 1989. The days leading up to that moment were filled with whispers of change. East Berliners began to hear rumors that the government might be loosening travel restrictions. There was a mix of hope and skepticism in the air, with many unsure if they could really trust the information. You could almost feel the electricity as people dared to hope for a future without the wall. Could it actually happen? Would they be able to embrace their family members and friends across the divide? Then came the fateful evening when everything changed. A government official, visibly confused and possibly ill-prepared for the moment, announced that the borders were open effective immediately. The crowd, bustling and waiting for a glimmer of hope, erupted into a frenzy of excitement. Guards who had once rigidly enforced the divide suddenly found themselves without orders. Imagine being in their shoes, the sheer disbelief as they stepped aside, allowing thousands to flow through. It was a surreal moment where freedom was just a shout away. As the news spread like wildfire, thousands of East Berliners surged toward the wall, filled with a mixture of disbelief and exhilaration. You could see the joy and relief on their faces, with many wiping tears away. Family members, long separated by an unforgiving barrier, rushed to embrace one another. Can you picture the excitement? People were not just crossing a physical boundary, but demolishing emotional ones that had held them captive for years. It's quite something to think about. Once those first feet started to tread across the threshold, it was like a dam bursting. The flood of humanity was exhilarating. Some folks were cautious, while others dashed through with wild abandon. Laughter, shouts of joy, and tears mingled in the air as people clung to one another. Among the chaos, you could see East Berliners racing to cash dispensers to collect the 100 Deutsche Marks they were granted to cross into the West. It's like a quirky comedy sketch, how to visit your family while getting free cash. And there was more. Unbelievably, people turning to the wall with hammers and chisels, tearing away chunks of concrete with gleeful enthusiasm. The once solid barrier was being turned into souvenirs, emotional tokens of freedom. It was a roaring celebration. Strangers embraced, danced, and sang together, united by a shared experience that transformed the night into a joyous festival. The celebration was infectious. Even if you weren't there, you can feel the excitement bursting through the screen as those moments were captured. Beyond the joy and celebration, the fall of the Berlin Wall represented so much more. It wasn't just the collapse of a physical divider. It signified the triumph of unity over tyranny, hope over fear. All of a sudden, it became clear. Walls can crumble, and tyranny can fail. The fall of the wall was a powerful symbol, not just for Germany, but for the world, demonstrating that people's will for freedom can bend even the strongest structures. In the aftermath, Germany embarked on its journey toward reunification. It was a whirlwind of emotions and challenges, but amidst it all, a new sense of possibility emerged. The unity felt that night was a reminder that together, we are stronger than any wall built to divide us. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of history's most pivotal moments. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more fascinating tales from the past, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let's explore history together, one story at a time.